He had 6 months.
And look,
for you to be in that position, for you to be in that position. No. Let me tell you something.
These guys are war fighters. These guys are war fighters.
Wait. For you to be in that position.
Welcome back to another episode of Discussions with the Boys. And on this episode, as you can see, we have a lot more boys in the channel. And I'm just going to go into a quick introduction. So by my right, we have my, one of my brothers from the East, Bobby. And by his right, or by his left, sorry, did I say to my right? Damn. To my left, we have Bobby. And then one of my brothers from the East. And then to his left, we have Idris, another of our brothers from the North. He's our first brother from the North on Discussions with the Boys. This is really amazing. Anyways, we already know Odogu Raz. He's been on this channel way too many times. I feel like he's one of the top boys. Anyways, it's actually quite funny because Valentine is right there. They have a group, Top Boy Association, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. But hopefully they thought to turn one of the top boys on Discussions with the Boys. Moving on straight on to today's topic. You already know why we're here.
Yeah, you forgot to say Valentine is from the West too.
Bro. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention.
I'm from Nigeria, anyways.
Valentine is one of our brothers.
I'm a detribalized Nigerian. I don't identify with anyone. So you can say maybe I'm from Abuja.
Okay. Well, you can say that about Valentine, but I'm sure he's Nigerian, guys. Anyways, you already know why we're here. We're going to jump straight into today's topic, which is, what would you say is the cause of the rise in political and regional tensions? Was it the coups or the war? Or was it just that we don't like ourselves as Black people? Don't you think? You think about it.
Not liking ourselves as Black people.
Facts.
It's quite too big. Yeah, we're Nigerians alone. I think maybe we like other Black people.
Nah, bro. Because you know why I added that? Honestly, I feel like it goes deep to that root as Black people not liking themselves.
Do we like white people?
I feel like we do. We lick their asses, literally. That's why we, in my opinion, are in the situation that we are in right now, as Africans as a whole. Do you understand?
Maybe
ask yourself this question. Okay, sorry, what were you going to say?
Maybe you could say we find a system that works, and that is why you see us probably putting our best to make something out of something.
Because you see, Nigerians in diaspora like Nigerians.
Mm-hmm.
Nigerians in diaspora are detribalized. Nigerians in diaspora, they don't even know someone's tribe. First, they just see you as a Nigerian first, right before they see your tribe. But once we go back to Nigeria, you see the tribal thing come back again.
Right.
So it's not about us not liking ourselves.
Okay.
It's about the system we find ourselves in. You understand? It's about interest. Everyone wants to actually be in charge. Everyone wants to survive. They set up Nigeria like a survival of the fittest kind of situation, right? So when people come into politics, we don't even have the best leaders in politics. What we have are regional leaders. We vote according to interests. We vote, he's from this side, so he's going to protect this side.
Mm-hmm.
This is from this side, he's going to protect that side.
Yeah.
With that process, right, there's no way, there's no how that you put someone as a leader based on where they're coming from or based on maybe a particular area, and you expect them to also come in and be detribalized. There's no way, because this was what they won the election for them. They might not be tribalistic per se, right? They might have a lot of people from other tribes around them as friends. But if this was what worked for them to win an election, they're going to stick to it. And it has been working. And that is why this constant tribalism is always there. Watch out during an election. You don't even know you're from a different side until towards the election time. They start reminding you of where you're from. Or where
it's quite funny that you said that, though. That it gets riled up during the elections. Because during the last elections in Nigeria, especially, I felt like it was not as tribalistic as it used to be.
Yeah, because that's true. That's so true. But that was because people are tired of APC.
Yes.
You understand? People are tired of APC. People are genuinely tired of APC in the last election. People are looking for an escape.
A way out.
A way out. People are tired. The suffering was too much. The killings were too much. And the killings was all around. It was both in the north, it was both in the south, it was in the west, it was in the east, it was in the middle belt, it was everywhere. No one escaped
When
it.
you say the last election, do you mean the 2023 election?
Yeah, that's the election I'm talking about, bro.
Frankly speaking, when you talk about the 2023 election, I think it's the most tribalistic
The outcome was.
election.
I feel like
the outcome was.
I feel like
I don't think the
process leading
process
to
leading
it.
I feel like the outcome was the most tribalistic. They used tribalism as a tool in
Yes,
that election.
to-
But the people that voted,
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
voted. Most of the people that voted, I feel like those people actually voted who they liked, right? But when the result or the process was there, it was, I don't know how.
What do
I
you
would say
mean by what they like? When you see a whole region voting for the person right coming out from that particular region, and the next region does the same thing, simultaneously the other region too does the same thing. So how would
Frankly-
you tell me that
frankly speaking-
that is not politics being done under tribal what do we call it
The tribalistic way.
tribalistic line, you know? There's nothing
frankly speaking, I think
there is no election in Nigeria that has been as divided under the traditional line than the 2023 election, because we had at least one man representing each of the three big ethnic groups in Nigeria.
Right. Okay, that's a point. Valentine, you were trying to say something.
Yeah, no. Frankly speaking, I think when it comes to the rise in ethnic tensions in Nigeria, I think we had since we've gotten independence, we saw the rise in this, and comparing the ethnic tensions we had in 1967, 66 to 2025, you would appreciate where we came from. The point is, we had a time whereby, it died down for a bit.
yes,
Apart from, the 1992 Abiola elections saga, we had a little bit of peace in our elections until 2023. And I think 2023 was the most tribalistic election. Maybe it was because we had candidates from the three major ethnic groups, but I think, I think you can all agree with me that, we had one of the major candidates during the election, campaigning based on religion and ethnicity. So I think that actually, people were being insulted, for voting who they wanted to vote for. So I don't think it's right to say 2023 election was not tribalistic. I think it was the most tribalistic we've had in the recent times.
Saying giving me that breakdown, I guess I see why it would be like that, but
from my perspective, I feel like it was not that tribal.
Exactly.
Because if someone like Peter Obi could win in Lagos, could win in Abuja, like who voted him? That is not even Eastern states.
that was literally
These people that voted him were not even coming from where he came from.
that was
They're not even from the same tribe as where he came from. I feel like the result
is
and the
where
coalition
they
of
used-
the result,
where
that was
they
where
used the tribalism
was
to play.
was relevant. That's
Yes.
what I feel like.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
That's
what
what
I
I was
feel
trying
like
to say.
too.
I get what you mean that the three major districts.
Yeah, came out. Yeah, and
What were
campaign
the
amongst
action?
the
What were
actions.
what were the reaction of the people that were actually trying to vote?
The tribalism comes in when, you have an issue of Peter Obi getting 98% in Anambra, 95% in Abia State, 85% in, basically, 92% average in the East.
You have gotten
And you had a
100.
situation
We are
of
surprised he didn't get 100.
yeah,
That's the problem. I keep
let-
telling
let-
people. I keep telling people a lot of
let-
this thing.
yeah,
We are surprised.
let-
America
let-
is telling
why?
us saying this
Yes,
thing.
let me make
We are surprised he didn't get 100.
Let-
let me make my point. Remember, it's a democracy.
Yeah,
Look,
it is
and
a
you had
democracy.
in the Southwest, whereby, I think Tinubu had about 65 to 70% of the overall votes. I think Peter Obi won about 30% in Oyo State. He had about 55% of almost 60% in Lagos State. The issue is Peter Obi having 98% in the Southeast is not a problem. We voted for him because he's the best candidate. But Peter Obi having 65%, 35 or 30% in the Southwest is somehow a problem. That's the tribalistic part. Because if these people are giving you your votes and you are saying 35% is not enough, and you think, oh, they are voting for Tinubu because they're tribalistic or because Tinubu is a Yoruba man, I think that's factually incorrect. if you want to look at it from
That's
the
why it
lens
was
of,
not tribalistic.
no. The point is no.
That's why I said it was not tribalistic.
No. I'm telling you, no. I'm trying to land a point. The point is, the people in the East are voting 98% for Labour Party, for Peter Obi. Everywhere is calm. Nobody's talking about tribalism. But when you do that same thing in the North, when you do that same thing in the Southeast, then you hear the echoes of, oh, you don't want to vote this guy in. Or maybe people just don't believe he's the best guy.
True, right?
Yeah.
I agree with that, right?
But I'm telling you that 2023 elections, people were literally beating for their choices, both on both sides.
Yes.
On both sides. So I don't think you can say, oh, 2023 election was in any way, detribalized. I think it was campaigned on tribal
People are not
tribal
beating on
politics.
both sides because of the
Because of-
tribe.
yes,
They are beating
that's
on
what
both
I'm-
sides because of what he had to
Yes,
offer.
it's because
That was
that's
what
I'm
they
trying-
saw him as a savior.
Nobody
People
was
were
saying.
tired of APC.
So if
There was no one that would have voted
So if it's
APC
Peter
again
Obi,
after what Buhari
because
did.
he's the best
No,
guy.
it's not
If it's
true.
Tinubu, it's
People
because
wanted to vote Article
wait.
2.
That's something
People
you
voted
said.
Article 2. It's not even about Peter Obi. People chose
People
either
chose
Article or Peter Obi. That was what people did.
And how did the
That was
person?
why it was
How
like
did the
that.
person that most people did
In
not
the-
vote for
in the North,
turn up to be the
the
president?
North knew. The
Anyways,
North knew.
do you understand?
Article. See, the
Most
North
people
knew
voted for either Peter Obi or Atiku, but
but
none of them became president.
because in the first time in the history of our country, we had an election that was a 3-horse race.
Nigerians
and
chose
we had a winner.
Atiku
And we had a
12
winner.
million
One
people
question,
chose
one
Atiku.
question.
That's
and
something
Peter Obi.
Valentine
8 million
said that
people
I
chose
need to talk
Tinubu.
about.
12 million people chose Atiku.
Okay,
and Peter
wait,
Obi, showing
wait.
that majority of Nigerians
JB,
never
I'll
wanted
let you
APC.
land your
So
points.
if you say people had to choose between Peter Obi and Atiku, and the result was Southeast, where Peter Obi comes from, were the sole people who voted for him, and you could say maybe the North, where Atiku came from, voted for him. What does that mean at the end of the day?
You're
If
trying
the
to say
tribal
they voted
politics.
voted
And that's
their
my
tribal
point.
lines, right?
Yes, everybody voted along tribal lines to an
And
extent.
that is not, we are not
So-
arguing about that. We're just saying, we didn't say it was never
Okay.
tribalistic. We said
Ca-
it's the less tribalistic
Bro,
election.
Can I count?
No, I think it's
Can
the
I
most.
talk? Can I talk?
It's the most
Can I
because
talk?
we have
Yeah,
someone
bro,
that
the
came
most.
and
That's
said
crazy.
Emiloko. Then we had someone again that came and say, okay, obedient movement. And then we have
Finally, it's my turn to talk. How many times have Igbo people run for president?
Look,
How many?
wait,
Wait,
that's
how
a,
many times?
that's a whole
How
di-
many times?
That's a whole different
Okay,
point.
that's
I
one.
get your point.
That's 1 point, right? Secondly, how many times has Southeast had up to that percentage throughout the history of Nigeria's independence democratic election? How many times have the Southeast had the type of 98%? You know what I mean? How many times? It has never happened.
Because
Let me tell you.
because we usually
Now.
don't have an Igbo candidate.
Exactly.
Can-
Now,
it's
wait,
fine.
wait, let me tell you. Wait,
to
let
vote.
me
It's
land
totally
now.
fine to vote for Peter
No,
Obi because it's
no,
Igbo.
no,
I
let me-
would understand
Let me
that.
tell you why.
That's totally
Let me
fine.
tell you. Let me tell you. Let me land now. I let everybody land, bro. Wait, chill. If all these people are voting for these people with 100% in the past, and all the people they were voting for did not have resume, they did not have anything that they've done in the past that you use to judge them, right? But before they are getting 100% in their areas and this. The one person that finally makes it up to that point, but the difference is that he actually has a resume of doing what he's supposed to do as a government.
Who?
Literally.
You mean Peter Obi?
Yes.
What is it
Wait,
that Peter
let me
Obi has
finish.
done that is
After
still
that-
standing in Anambra State?
Bro, I will list. If I start listing now, the list will continue to go on to the point that I live there, bro. Why are you telling me? I grew up there. So it's not me you're telling, bro. I grew
Yeah,
up
so-
there.
I think we are
Yeah,
deviating
so-
from the topic a
But
little bit
that's
here.
what I'm trying to say is you can't say that we had what I was trying to say about your point. You can't say that the East voted 80-90% and then that's what you used to call it a tribalistic. We voted that because not only did he
In Nasarawa State,
it's
they
not
voted
because
Peter
of
Obi.
his. If it was
Nasarawa is
another
not
person that did what Peter Obi did
Southeastern states
in
now.
Anambra
Nasarawa
State,
is in the north.
he will get the exact same, if not more. Do you
Were
understand?
you, were you on
At that point, we were
social,
not
were you on
voting-
social media at that time during election?
Yes,
Do you
I was-
see
Look,
the kind of
I think the
tweets that
implication of
come
what you are
from
saying
the
is
obedient camp?
it's totally fine for the people of Southeast to vote for Peter Obi because he's our son. It's totally fine. But I'm surprised at why you think there's not some element of truth in that. The issue that the people of Southeast voted for Peter Obi because he's Igbo and he's their son.
There is.
Exactly, that's the point. And that's fine.
What I'm trying to tell you is, over the years, yeah, that could have been a reason But with concerning the 2023 election, yeah, it was the reason why we started talking about this thing is because I said that it was the least, like the least one where I saw that people were 100% not voting because of they were Igbo or this or that.
Look, I think if
It
you
was
look
the
at,
least. I saw it more with Yoruba people.
I think if you look at
Yeah, I saw it more with Yoruba
if you
people.
look
Yeah.
at,
it more with
I saw it more with
I
Yoruba
think if you
people.
look at,
They elected Yoruba people. A lot of them did not vote via tribal
No, I
lines.
saw somebody
I'm telling you
telling
the
me
truth.
Peter Obi, Yoruba
yes,
guy.
because no, this is look.
It comes back to the point you are saying.
It comes back to my point that Peter will be at 35%. This is a fact. By looking at, you said you're talking about the 95% Peter Obi votes in the southeast. I think that's directly linked to the fact that the election was voted on based along tribal lines. People voted for their sons.
It's not a problem.
But-
Which was not ruled out. We said it yes.
Yes, we
That's
said that. We
true.
agree.
We agree with that one.
But what I'm
Just
trying
say
to
it was
say
the
is,
least.
over
Just
the
say it's
years,
the least. Over the years.
over the
I
years,
don't think it
So
was the least. It was the
over
most.
the years.
Which one
So-
has overshadowed 2023?
this one?
Which one?
It was the
Which
most.
election?
Which
Which election in Nigerian history overshadowed
In terms of
2023
people
election? In
voting
terms of-
along tribal
in
lines.
terms of people
People voting
and
along
citizens
tribal lines.
voting along tribal lines.
over
Where-
the years, the North has been doing it.
When Buhari
Since
got into power,
Bro,
when Buhari got into power,
how many
when
people?
Buhari got
How
into
many
power,
times have
we
people
in the south
come
did
to
not vote
power?
Buhari.
I think
Because
when we're
he was
talking
from
about
there.
when we're talking
We have
about,
voted
you
Jonathan
got to
because he
understand
was
that
from the
Nigeria is
When you
We
see
Nigeria
voted
is
via tribal lines. in
if
the
you are
southeast
saying
there.
if you are saying when Buhari came into power, initially the northern people have been bringing Buhari to come and present to the Nigerian people, and he has not been able to deliver. The second southerner came and took him and said, okay, I present you this guy. He became one. So what are you talking
He
about?
said, how
At
did
the
they
end
vote?
of the
We
day,
don't
at
know
the
what
end
we
of the
sounded
day,
and we didn't
it's
hear
not-
any
it's not-
presentation.
it's
How
not
we
the
voted.
northern-
We
when-
voted
when
across
northerners-
tribal lines.
when northerners
2015
voted across
2015
tribal-
2015 election was
There is
2015
no way
election
you
was
will
not along
say-
tribal lines. People
Exactly.
actually believe that
It was not
Buhari was going to be changed.
But in
And
the southeast, we didn't vote
It
him in the
came
southeast.
We didn't vote him.
because
Because
you
the
didn't vote him
because
in the
you had-
south, it
because of the
doesn't
sympathy,
mean
people didn't like Buhari
doesn't
in the
mean-
southeast.
It's like
anything.
tribalism now. We didn't
But
vote him
he
because he
did
was from
not
there.
co-
We felt that
Wait.
we felt he was from there.
Buhari
and he was not going to
came-
favor our interests.
I get your
That's why we
argument
didn't
on that
vote him.
part, but
See,
I think
there was
I think
something that
2023
we
election-
were not just, it wasn't our norm. We woke up to bombs in the federal capital.
yeah.
These are
In
things
2015,
that
2014.
we don't know. It's
Waking up
never
to
heard of.
kidnappings, here and there. It has
The
reduced
Chibok
now.
girls
So-
been missing, everything. There was, before you know it, we wake up, Barack Obama and Michelle are holding, bring back our girls.
Exactly, but then
Which was all political now.
all that shit
It was
was
all political.
Exactly.
That was
telling
the
you that
major
it's
reason
from
for
the
Buhari
Western-
to enter inside.
Yeah, bro.
John Kerry came from the United States and came to Nigeria. He didn't go to Abuja.
Yeah,
The
bro.
Secretary, he went to
See?
Lagos
You see,
to see Buhari
now this is
when
the
Jonathan
conversation
was sitting
that
in power.
we as Nigerians
No,
need to be having.
Because everything done was
All of us,
political.
not the
It
tribalistic
was
part.
more of he came on
The United
based
States
on
have always
okay,
been
he
involved in
came
our
as a
elections.
poor
Exactly,
person.
bro.
He
Start
came
today.
in.
That's what I'm saying.
So
They've never left.
They have always been involved.
One- the Britain,
even though
all
they
of
believe
them,
in the dictatorship, they have
for
always
the
been involved.
insecurity
They never
in
left,
Nigeria,
G.
that is one.
They just
And
left their
two,
ghosts
to
wandering.
liberate the poor people. These are the two major things Buhari came on.
Bro, these people are intentionally
Destroy
us
the
up
country.
on a day-to-day basis.
And he destroyed the country, man. Like Buhari destroyed us, man. Buhari took us back.
Anyways,
Buhari took
you
us
see, we
back.
have
That is
deviated.
subjective.
Yeah, I was saying that.
What was the topic again?
Go and ask your grandfather.
What was the cause of the rise of the political and regional tension? I bet. Was it the coups? Do you guys think it was the coups?
I think looking back at, I think the coup was an aftermath of the rise in ethnic tensions.
Oh, yeah?
In 1967, January 15, we had the first coup in the history of the country. You had these revolutionary officers in Zogo and co. So in their manifesto, if you read the book,
Bro.
I think I gave
Yeah,
you that
bro.
book. So why we struck in their manifesto,
It's on my bedstand.
they listed why, they took the actions they did, basically, So if you look at the actions, if you look at the ethnic tensions going on in the Western region in 1967, you already had the Saudana in the north, and you had Abubakar in the central. It was the prime minister, and we had an issue in the western region whereby Akintola and Awolowo were at headlocks, and Akintola was supposed to leave his role as the premier of the western region. He went to court. He wasn't going to leave. He had the support of the federal government, and that led to a lot of riots in the western region. Preceding to that, both the Saudana and both Akintola knew there was going to be a coup because the country was already unstable. You had people crying here and there about how they were not favored, how people were not, being carried along. So you had these revolutionary boys in the army, and I said, okay, they wanted to take actions into their hands. And I think the rise in the ethnic tensions led to their actions. I think these guys were, I think majority of them were Igbo officers anyways, but it wasn't an Igbo coup. It was far from it. But, the aftermath of it made it look like an Igbo coup, which also worsened the whole ethnic tensions.
Don't be like.
And then we had series of coups here and there, And,
I feel like all the coups that came
that's
after
just the
that was
background,
just
basically.
bullshit, bro. That's what put us more and more into.
It all boils down to one thing and one thing alone. That first coup, yes, they may or may not have their reasons to take action. Yeah, they did. It wasn't successful.
Exactly.
So
That is the problem. That was the main problem, anyways.
what again? It's for us to,
Revolt.
manage it. No, not revolt.
I
Not
got you,
revolt.
bro.
Not revolt. Not revolt. Not revolt now. It was on whoever it is that takes over power to make sure now that failed coup is being seen through, because we all know there is rules of engagement even in the army.
Right.
And if you are going for a coup, you have to succeed.
Exactly.
If you fail,
Wow.
You have to
Yeah.
succeed.
You have to.
They did not succeed.
And they did not kill
But
them.
they
And they
did
not tried them.
Not even kill. They did not succeed, but they went back to their normal military duties.
Yeah, that's messed up.
So do you see how mismanagement has been our issue till date?
Bro, that's actually points. This will go up on the video for sure. Mismanagement.
Till
That's
date.
actually facts, bro.
I think they succeeded to an extent. It's just look,
What
did they get
succeeded?
the guys out of power? Yes.
Yes.
That's a form of success.
Yes.
Yes.
But they did not
But
complete.
They did not consolidate
Bro.
power.
Exactly.
They did not consolidate power.
They did not consolidate.
And look, they had power, Nzogo had power in the north.
Yeah,
He was-
Nzogo-
he had, he
Yeah,
had-
but
he had already received
They
the
had two-
pledges. Nzogo had already received the pledges of all
the northern
traditional
leaders.
leaders
Yes.
and the allegiance.
You
The
guys
people have
don't
because
he
understand
succumbed.
something. Yo. You guys need to understand
But
something.
the mismanagement in
See,
Lagos
you might
is
be
problem.
talking on commentative grounds. That is perfectly okay. But when you are on military terms, there's zero tolerance for failure. You cannot do that. So all these are just, you guys are just telling yourselves it was not a success. Is it a failed mission, or is it a success?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why I said it's
It was
relative.
failed, so
No,
there's-
yeah, that's why I said it's relative.
No, because see,
That's why I said it's relative.
that is why we are still in this mess. We are still thinking relatively.
Yes, honestly.
We need to look at
Yeah,
it
bro, it can't be relative. I was
attack
just
it
going.
the way it
Yeah,
is.
bro, it can't
and
be relative. How do you say it's
speak-
relative though?
Talk was
The
relative
way it
because
is, then
to
we
some
are
people-
able to move
some
forward.
people-
But if
to
we
some-
start
to
giving
some people-
ourselves this kind
to
of
some people, their aim was to get the Saudana and the guys out, and they did. Akintola was
But that
out.
was not the complete mission.
It doesn't matter. Some
It
people,
does.
some people mission stopped there. Some
No,
people
bro.
mission was to take over government. Some people mission was to get Saudana out. They don't care. So
Only
that's why I
Saudana?
said
So
it's
only
relative.
him?
And no, that's why I said
that
it's
was,
relative.
if that was the
Only
end of the
him?
mission for some people,
It's-
and some
and that's
other
why I
people's
said it's
mission did
relative.
not complete.
To the guys that
It's not
planned
a
the
complete
coup,
mission.
it's obviously it's a failed mission because
Yeah, bro.
as a military
So,
guys,
but
have-
for
you
you,
have-
it's a success then.
no, it
To
doesn't.
some people, he's saying.
I'm saying it's relative. You can look at it. What I mean by it's relative is it depends on how you look at it. It depends
Right.
on how you look at it.
But yeah, I guess.
Did they get these guys out of power? Yes, they did.
So how do
Yes,
you
I
look
guess.
at it now?
Honestly, from my point of view, it was failed. because it's incomplete. Something that is incomplete is failed if it never ever completed. Simple and short.
I think we are just talking about English words here.
Bro,
No, seriously, we're just talking about English words here.
We're
We're just
not ready to move
we're,
forward.
we're actually talking about English words here and just
it's not
trying to
complete.
just
You can't
agree
say
based on.
it's complete for some people.
I did not say it's complete. I'm saying the success of the coup is relative. Relative mean relative
How
being
do you
how-
you already explained relative, and I agree with you. I'm now asking you a direct question. How do you look at it?
how do I look at it?
Mm-hmm.
Then if you're asking me how I look at it, you want to understand what's my thoughts on the
Opinion.
coup, what's my
Yes.
opinion on the coup.
Opinion.
Because
Opinion.
my personal opinion on the coup is if I agree with these guys or not. Because
If it is a success or a failed coup.
if I tell you it's a success now, you tell me that my opinion is just to get Saudana out of power. But if I tell you it's failed, you tell me that my opinion was to get the power out.
How are you already telling me
Yes!
what? You see the problem we're
No,
having.
you are being honest.
You are already telling me, thinking, telling me what I'm going to answer. Then
You have a reason
it's
for also wanting
Well, you have a reason
Yes,
for asking
yes,
the question.
no,
but
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least
you have a reason
give-
for also wanting
but
to
at
do
Yes.
least give me the
His answer.
benefit of
Give him his
doubt.
answer.
Because if I tell you it's a success, you not tell me so my aim is
That
to
is
get
the reason
Saudana
for
out
the
of power.
discourse,
Yeah, okay, okay.
so we
okay,
can
okay.
all air
Okay,
opinion.
okay,
It's not
okay.
for you now
Yeah,
to come
okay.
and
I
to
think-
subject
think-
or to think. Let's go to say
so.
that.
Yeah.
So the question is,
we are here for you
did you
to
see the
allow
coup
me
as
say
a
it.
failure or as a success?
I think based on the objective that the coup plotters set for themselves,
Yes.
it wasn't a success.
Simple.
Did you see
And
the
that's why
90
we're
was the
in
90
this
Wait,
for-
don't ask
for
another question.
you.
Another question.
You, I'm
No,
asking
another
for
question.
you.
Another question. Idi, I want to ask you this
He
question.
did not
Do you see
answer
the
my
1966
question.
wait now? Do you see the 1966 coup? The counter coup. Do you see the 1966 counter coup as a success or as
We
a
have
failure?
not finished deliberating on the first coup. We are already moving to the counter
He
coup.
said,
But he said,
he said,
he's answering
he has
subjectively.
actually,
The problem of Nigeria is not the counter coup, the whatever coup, or the problem of Nigeria is that first coup, and that first coup is not whether or not it was a success.
You say
or
that's
not.
the problem of Nigeria.
Yes.
It's also relative.
Wait,
to look
Honestly,
at it like that.
wait, okay.
I'm coming.
Yeah.
It is not,
Shut the fuck up.
and that problem is not whether or not that coup was a success or a failed one. No, it was by the actions and inactions of our government as of then.
Iran state government.
Facts. And that's what basically has been happening till today.
And that has been the problem of Nigeria till
Till today,
date.
bro.
If you are
That's
ready
basically
to
what-
address that
I agree
first
with you,
coup,
bro.
Well, I wouldn't want to be Iransi. Iransi took over a government he never asked for.
Facts. I wouldn't want to be
He
him.
woke up and he became prime minister.
But at the
He
same
woke
time,
up not thinking
I
he would be
feel like
prime
I have a
minister.
lot of
I ended up being
options.
prime minister.
Yeah.
He had a government he did not even plan for.
How many months do you
Look,
have?
he promised
Was it not 6
Nzogu
months?
he was not going to.
He
was not
had
going to-
6
he wa-
months, bro.
he promised.
nobody
Look,
is asking you whether or not he is fit. That is your
you have
problem.
to understand his dilemma.
Whenever you are in position of power, you need to raise up.
Yes, I get
And
your point, but you have to
actually
understand Iransi's dilemma.
You
Iransi's
have
dilemma-
to be that.
I beg.
If you cannot do
Can't
that,
even
then you
understand
have
Iransi,
to,
honestly.
bow out.
I understood him to a point.
Iransi's dilemma
If
is
it was 3 months,
before taking over power from Iziagu,
bro, he had
he had a
6
gentleman's
months.
agreement with Iziagu.
yeah.
Not to arrest the coup plotters and not to sentence them. And he had a gentleman agreement with the northern leaders to arrest these guys.
Yeah,
And actually, these guys killed the Sardana for God's sake.
yeah.
So do you
Yeah,
see
he was-
why I said
Exactly.
it was because of the actions and
Exactly. So it
inactions
comes back
of
to
the-
what
Yeah,
he's saying
yeah.
because you can't do that. What Iransi did,
It's
you can't do
nothing.
that
It's
shit.
nothing. It's
can you
nothing.
be-
See,
be
the problem is
Promising this
nothing
person,
more
oh,
than that.
you get this person, and then promise this person you do this.
He never
That's
asked for
literally
it.
what we're doing
He
right now.
never, he never asked for it. He never asked for any.
So there's so
Nobody
many other
said-
things he can do.
Nobody said
He
you
could have
asked for it.
surrendered the power.
And that was
He had 6 months.
And look,
For you to
what are
be in that position,
don't
for you to
understand-
be in
I
that
don't
position.
understand Iransi.
No. Let me
can't
tell you
understand
something.
these guys
Wait,
are war
I'm coming.
fighters. These guys are war fighters.
Wait.
They
For
have no
you to
business
be
in
in that
politics.
position,
Facts.
What
For
we are
you-
talking about
see-
right now, you are looking at the gradual politicization of the Nigerian army. And that is why we are where we are today.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you
The
something.
gradual that's what we're addressing.
Let me say something.
How did we do the gradual?
Let me give you an
It's from
instance.
what Ironsi did not do.
Let me give you an instance now. Our late president Yar'Adua died when he was the president, and his vice president was sworn in as the president. He is just a vice president.
I mean, that's
And
what's supposed to happen.
I don't think as of that time, if you knew the background of how Yar'Adua even recruited Jonathan never saw himself in the villa. But one night he woke up,
He's the president.
he was the president. Are you going to tell me he's not going to rise up now
To
and
answer your
be
question,
the president?
to answer your question,
I want to answer that question.
to answer your
bro.
question is different because
What
you
difference?
being a vice president, it's expected that if anything happens to the president,
President.
You're
you are
the
going to
president.
cover.
That is one.
It's expected.
Secondly,
These guys are real fighters. They have no
Exactly.
business taking over power, taking over the government or anything.
In every country, there is the number 1 citizen, number 2 citizen, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. Do you understand? There is a reason for that. I'm coming. No. I'm coming. If from your president, vice president, senate president, speaker, if they're all in a plane now going for a summit, God forbid, their plane crashes. Do you want to tell me the number 6 citizen now cannot? You will tell me because he is number 6 citizen, or you will give him all the... In fact, we are even going too deep, because when we are talking about the first coup, it was not whether or not he performed good as a governor or as a president or as a military head of state. No, there is a particular rule of engagement and you fail to trigger it.
What was that?
We are not ready then. If you are expecting me to tell you.
Is it like,
Bro, you have to tell me.
because you have to say it now.
Like I said, it was because of his actions and inactions.
Because he did not arrest them or what? Because he didn't arrest the coup plotters after the coup, right?
Arresting, prosecuting,
Yeah,
whatever you
he
want to
didn't kill
say.
them. He arrested them and put them in jail.
He didn't.
But he didn't prosecute. They didn't kill them.
What his
They
actions
didn't.
were.
They were expected.
Someone
They were
right here
arrested,
just
but
said
they were
he
arrested, but
promised-
it was-
You were never tried. For
And-
They were never
6
tried.
months.
Yeah, for
and,
6 months.
and someone right here said he promised the other wing
And he was working on
something
other
else,
things.
and he promised the other wing something directly opposite.
Yeah.
Yes,
How is it not his actions and inactions?
Exactly.
now?
It's
No, we know
Yeah,
that
no, it is
sometimes
false.
it's
No
false.
doubt
No,
about
no
that.
one.
We're just, we're
We're
just
just talking.
we're talking
It
on
was
the
his fault.
sidelines
No,
here.
we're talking on the
Yeah,
sidelines.
bro.
It was his
Talking
fault.
But
on
now
the
what we're
sidelines.
saying is that almost every Nigerian government is almost using that same exact format.
What format?
Let me say one thing.
The format of
Let me say one thing.
inactions and
There's
actions.
a problem. There's a
Literally.
problem.
Where they
That we
they
keep
things they
messing
don't
up.
do and things that they do,
Wait,
bro.
there's a problem. We keep messing up in Nigeria. We keep messing up, and when we catch us for messing up, we say in 1966 the boys from the barracks came and did something. We will mess up again. They will say in 1966. When are we going to leave 1966 alone and take accountability of our mess up? These men that did this thing have all died. The remaining generations are just Obasanjo and few other people are still remaining. We have new people in power. What is the problem? Why do we keep holding on to excuses for reasons for us to continue misbehaving? Why are we still misbehaving?
Facts.
There's no reason. There is no reason for us to keep on holding on to the past.
There is
no reason.
why Nigeria is like that, because
We're already like that. No problem. We have set up
But
that
now we
way.
need to-
But why do we continue in that
Yeah.
status quo?
We keep dwelling. We keep
You
doing
keep
the same
dwelling
thing.
it. You lose your job. You lose your job
Because-
2018.
okay.
And you cannot pay your rent.
Okay.
And you keep dwelling because you lost your job in 2018. That's why you
Because-
don't want to pay your rent.
Let me chip in
Okay.
here.
It doesn't make sense.
Let me chip in here. I think, look, it all comes back, to your topic, and what does it mean to be a Nigerian? What is the Nigerian identity? Nigerian itself has failed to unite its citizens based on a common goal to say, oh, this is the Nigerian identity. This is what it means to be a Nigerian. To be a Nigerian.
That is points.
And that is why you see people falling back to their tribes. You can't blame
Exactly.
people. It's a way of feeling secured for them.
Exactly.
And you can't blame people because the country has failed to define itself.
Facts.
And that is why you see that we are farther apart but I truly believe that there's strength in our diversity.
There is strength in our diversity,
A lot
but
of
it's not
strength.
being utilized.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
At
I
all.
agree.
It's been turned to a negative.
And that problem is.
Do you understand?
That problem is us.
Yes.
Someone somewhere cannot just make us think we are not alike or we have to
Yeah.
hate each other to, you know,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
because we
Stand together, yeah.
we ourselves we don't even like ourselves. We how many times would you see a problem in Nigeria now and we will start what? We will start begging Britain for what? Not the government, ordinary citizen. We'll start saying, oh, Britain, come to our help. What does that mean? Are we truly free, even the citizens? Do we want to be free? If you don't have citizens that are willing to be free, how are you able to produce leaders that can even move the country forward? In Nigeria, we don't have elected officials that are mostly highly qualified or
highly educated.
highly educated.
Yeah, it all stopped after that coup.
We had the
We
PhD
mostly
holder as
have
president.
people-
What did he do?
We only have people
Jonathan
that
was
can
a
make the
PhD.
loudest
Now,
noise.
He
if
was
only
a
he
doctor. He was a PhD
Yeah,
holder.
he was, but if only he could, if
So,
only he
look,
won his second tenure.
Look,
The tenure he
system
did
is
was
bad.
not
Look,
somebody
system.
else's tenure.
Look, and there's a
System
reason
is-
why the requirement of being a president is why
Jonathan
Yes.
is,
So look,
It's a reason.
he was good
we don't
and
have to
bad
talk
for
about,
himself. Jonathan, when
educated or not
he-
being
he-
educated, we can talk
Nigerians
about
need to-
exposure.
Yes.
What I like to talk about is exposure. It's not education. I think exposure is a form of education, anyways. But I don't like to say education, quote unquote. I think exposure is the word.
bro,
because-
exposure
Yeah, man.
has a negative too, because it is that same exposure that made what's it called? All the military leaders that have ruled after the coup to do what they did.
Nah, look, the likes of Nziogo, like Sandos, there was Sandos Leonard. These guys were different from the likes. They were
Yeah.
the best of the best.
Yes, exactly. I'm saying
There were
after
some of these
after that
military
first
guys
coup,
that just wanted to be there. Like they just
Yeah.
wanted their
Exactly.
ranks and their
Exactly.
this thing. They, you know, they just wanted their ranks and all
I
that.
may or
But-
may not agree with you with that exposure. I might agree with you to some extent, but let me give you instances with China now. China, for instance, you cannot say maybe they are exposed, but what do? They enclose themselves away from the world, develop, and now they are almost
Taking over the
contemplating taking over the superpower.
Well, you'd imagine,
that is-
you'd
that
imagine
it
how
is
many
now that
percentage of those
they want to
decision
even
makers in
open-
China went to study in America. You'd imagine a good percentage of them
Bro, all of
went to
them were
study in
learning.
America.
I've
No, yeah, and that's the point of
the
the exposure I'm talking
What
about.
they-
bro. What China
See,
did, yeah,
They see
We can do it.
themselves
Yeah.
as one people. That is
Bro.
one.
bro. But
The
bro,
system is
you see
messed
See,
what
you
China
can
did,
go
yeah?
to China
We
now.
can do it, bro. What China did, I've read this
It-
history. I've watched it. The only thing that will prevent us from doing it, bro, unity, bro. You see that word unity, bro? That shit is f***ing us up in Nigeria.
What is your topic
Point
again?
blank, period.
You keep
Tribalism.
saying.
How do you expect-
Tribalism.
Do you know how many things you can use to divide Nigeria in just one
It
second?
was just 1 second, just one.
Exactly.
Exactly, and that
It's
is why you don't.
strategically
You don't
put in
unity-
place.
the
don't
unity
Religion,
cannot be-
tribalism, bro. Every
Unity cannot just be,
Now, for
be
you,
spoken
my G.
because you can see it even from
From
social media,
media,
even,
yeah.
even
But it's
even
not going
on
to
a
get
normal
better.
basis.
That's
But
my
yeah,
point.
it's not going to get
As
better.
long as the Nigerian
It is
Orientation
going to
Agency
get
and the
better.
people in
The
charge of
only
these
way-
things
see,
has
the
failed
problem is
to
you
define
don't
what
even
it
believe
means
it's
to be a
going to get
Nigerian.
better.
To be a Nigerian.
That is point. That
Because
is
if I
point.
ask you now, what does it mean
Who
to
is
be an
going
Igbo,
to
yes, an
define
Igbo
it?
man? You
I
will tell
can
me.
tell you.
What does it mean to be a Yoruba man? You
You
tell
can
me.
tell me.
What does it mean to be a
Nigerian?
Nigerian?
I am a one name. We don't even have a
No, no,
country.
no.
What does it
The
mean?
name Nigeria that
Yeah.
we have was given to us by the motherfuckers that are still putting us
So-
in the same problem that
So
we're in.
it's a form of
So
defensive
who is
tactic
going to who is
for
who is
people.
who is
I
going
don't
to
blame
give
people
you
for
that
running back
identity
to
now?
their
We
tribe
need to get it
and
together.
you know
And how
looking
do we
for
get
some
it
sort of
together?
cover.
We need to come
It's a form
together,
of
bro.
defensive tactic.
We
you
will
know?
never get there, bro, my brother.
You
if I
say
love my
we
brother,
need
bro,
to we need to get together, and you are saying at the same time we will never get there. Which
yes,
one?
we will never, because it's been strategically put in place. That's what I'm trying to tell you here.
I think-
So the reason for
I
this
think the
So
world
in
is
any
going to be
in
difficult.
Bro, let me
any
tell
in
you.
any
Okay.
word problem,
Okay,
if you can identify and understand the question, you already solve half.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you have already identified, how
Yes.
can you say we can never get there?
Yes. Do you know why?
If you
Do you know
identify,
why?
is for
You
you
know,
not
let
to
me
start
finish. I
believing
never
and
finished the
actually
sentence
do-
I was saying. We can never get there if we, as all of us as Nigerians, do not come together. Are you getting it?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
Bro, we will never.
But how are we going to get
It's
together
with
now?
what we are doing right now. Small steps. It has to be systematic. What we're doing right now is important. See,
Now, if you're talking about changing things, are you talking about, democratic revolution or
mindset,
revolution by
mentality.
what do you mean mentality?
The mentality
You
of
want to change the
Nigerians.
mentality of the Nigerian people,
Yes, bro.
and I understand that.
Which is part of what this guy is saying about identity. Mentality is part of it, bro. What is our, you ask the question, what's our identity as Nigerians?
Yeah, because if you
we don't
want
have
to know,
one. But if I ask you what is your identity as an Igbo man, you tell me Igbo
you
Kwenu.
want to move
So many
that
things.
country,
You
the
know what I
whole-
mean?
The whole
But as a Nigerian,
education
we don't have an
system-
identity.
Jollof
Why?
rice,
Now,
jollof rice.
there's so many, bro. The jollof rice. Ghanaians have jollof rice. That's not our fucking identity. It can't be our identity if other people have it.
Jollof rice.
It cannot be our identity if other people
Puff.
have it, dog. Do you understand? It can't be okay, puff, I guess, suya. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is, bro, okay, fine, let's use food as identity.
It's a form of identity.
That food now is from different tribes. It's not a particular tribes that do it more.
And that's what it
The
takes
thing
a
is,
process. We build the Nigeria identity
Exactly.
from a fusion of different identities.
Exactly.
You
So,
can-
yeah, that is fact.
It's
That
not
is-
we are getting
totally
there.
right to say we don't
Bro.
have identity. We do have identity,
As a
but
Nigerian.
we don't
strong like
collect
that.
it, and we don't embrace it.
Yeah.
Embrace it.
You know,
You
strong like
Why?
that.
And
Why, bro?
we
What is
feel-
the reason?
And we
What does it
and
not
we
come
use
down to?
we use that same
does it not come down
identity
to?
thing to now divide ourselves.
Unity. Bro, if we, all of us as Nigerians, can't address the problem together, how do we solve the problem?
Look, the people are hungry.
Don't you get it?
The people are hungry. They are very, very hungry.
So
Once
they are-
election comes, these rich people
yeah,
from Lagos, they will give them 5,000 naira, and they are going to vote
we
their party,
need to
and the things are not going
rebuild
to
the
change.
system.
And we are stuck
Exactly.
in this cycle.
We
That's
need
why
to
I said, if you're talking
rebuild.
about real change,
And are
Real
you going
change.
to tell me the
are you talking
problem
about
now are the
democratic revolution
politicians?
or revolution by civil disobedience?
Bro, it is going
It's
to be a civil something. At this point, it needs to be a civil.
Why does it need to be a civil disobedience?
Because no, first of all, nobody wants to die, Abi. Abi, you won't die, Abi.
Nobody wants to
Nobody
die,
wants
yeah.
to die, Abi. But people will still die.
On what grounds? It's your question is subjective, to be honest. Because
Okay, nobody
if
wants
you
to
are
die
talking
trying
about-
to save the
if you are
country.
talking about
Or trying to bring
save
a
the
better
country,
country.
or trying to better the country,
Yeah.
then we are not ready. Because if you are not ready to die, the people, why see the reason why you can
The people
sit
that are
here
there
and even
taking
do
power
this,
are ready
They
to
are
die.
ready to die. That's what I was about to
Exactly.
say. Can I finish my
and
sentence,
somebody
Idris?
died.
No, I
I mean,
finish.
that's
Can I finish? Can I finish? Let me finish. Nobody wants to die, right? But if we want to actually make change, bring change, do something for that country, it is not coming from the people that are ready to die. to
And that's
keep
why
it
it
the way
comes.
it is.
Look, it comes back to the point that Nigerians are just not ready.
Yes.
Look, I think there was a.
So how do we
there-
get ready?
There was a.
See, you don't
there-
understand
there
what I
was a
was
time
saying.
there was a protest in I think I've forgotten the name of the country now, but you had a monk that basically set himself on fire. Can you say
Yeah.
that man was not ready to die?
He was ready to die.
Uh-huh. And that's why I said, look,
Let
Nigerians
me
are
tell
not
you
ready.
something.
Yeah, we're not ready.
Let me tell you something.
Nigerians are not
You
ready.
That's why I
might
said
say,
together in
see,
10 years.
you
Together
might
in
say
10 years.
you
Nigerians
might
are not
say the
ready.
leaders we have now are not ready to die, but the leaders we had before, they were. In fact, some of them actually gave up their lives.
Facts.
They did.
Facts.
And why you see corruption and all this useless
because
thing
of
happening
the
is
things they
because
did.
now the leaders we have, they are not even ready to account for their own actions.
Actions.
And that is why you see them running from one place to the other when they invite them, show them one thing, and the next thing, whatever it is they believe today, their religion is no more. The ones we have now are not ready to die. But you now, followers, citizens, it falls down to you now. Are you ready to move your
take it
country
back
forward?
That is
Because
it.
as it stands now, the problem of Nigeria cannot be leadership anymore. It has to be followership.
Facts, bro.
Are we going to continue to follow what we don't believe in?
Exactly, Shay, we've said it. I just said it, bro.
Look,
it has to be a civil
we
something,
tried
bro.
the parliamentary system.
Not
It didn't
civil.
work.
No,
We tried the military.
We tried the military system.
It didn't work.
We tried the unitary system of the federal government. We tried the
Broski.
federal system now. It doesn't look like it's not working.
It has
Doesn't
to
look
come
like
from
it's
us,
working.
bro.
Look, I'm all of the opinion that African countries, we've got to come up with some sort of government, role of government, mode of government that is
Suits
connected and that suits our culture.
Our culture,
And
Yes.
background.
Because everything we
Because
have is borrowed.
this white people's democracy is not.
It's not working
It's
for
not
us.
really working
Even
for
when
us.
Britain came in,
I've
It's not-
said it.
It's not really working for us.
Bro, down to our name. The fact that I still have to call ourselves Nigerians. Do you even know the history of our own name even coming to existence?
even the mad part,
Do you understand?
even the
Just to tell you how much of we don't
the
even
way-
care about knowing our own identity.
The way Britain ruled us, the divide and rule self, that one was really a no-no. If Britain really wanted us to form Nigeria by say, right, they would have made us know that everybody is one.
Yes.
But then they ruled divide and rule, gave powers to the tribal men.
Broski, the reason why we can't get to even Britain and United States conversation is because they are the reasons why most African countries are the way they are today. So before we even begin to tackle them, we need to tackle ourselves. Now what for you? When did South Africa gain independence? Nobody say they know they do this. They are still doing it to us as we are speaking.
I think we're better off comparing ourselves to South Africa. The employment rate in South Africa.
I'm not comparing myself to South Africa. I'm saying South Africa, when did they get their independence? I'm trying to tell you how long these people have still had their hands in African countries.
All right.
Do you understand? It's not like as if they've left. They did not leave.
So now
They are still here.
But South Africa is complicated.
The
though.
thing is,
South
there's
Africa is very complicated,
See,
though.
that's the problem. See, you keep giving yourselves excuses. There is no problem in anywhere, anything. Whatever it is, just identify it and look for ways and means to make it work. We can work, but we are saying who is going. Okay, we keep saying the way we are. What are we doing, citizens? What are we doing towards paving the way to even move that country? Mention one political party now that maybe you can say
Labour Party.
for what?
Bro, we're doing a lot too. I have to give citizens credit. Bro,
For young people.
But we have a new political
They don't
party
give
now. I think it's
themselves
ADA.
For young
I think
people?
all Democratic
Yeah, bro.
Alliance.
What ideas?
Labour
what,
Party top to bottom.
do we have?
bro,
LUP.
the reason why you will give citizens accolades, right? We're not doing the best, right? But we can do a lot better. But you cannot say that we're not trying. That is one thing that you cannot say.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, yeah, we're trying.
Citizens,
Trying-
the fact
trying
that
to
Nigeria is even still
Standing.
standing, that we're not even where I think we are by now, is enough accolades to Nigerian people, the people themselves. Now, can we do more? 100%.
Everything we need to do is
It's now. Yeah, bro.
Bro, we need to do it now because we don't even know the survival rate of most people back home.
That's
that we
why
might even
you
do
need
anything, so
to
we need to
see
do it
you
now.
need to see citizens creating lobby groups or
Facebook.
whatever it is you can do. Just try and even bring a rough a rough patch of how you
can-
think Nigeria can work. Start advocating towards it.
right now.
And that is what we are
Now,
doing. That's we are,
and now,
if we don't discuss about it, we can't get it.
exactly.
But the thing is that we need a lot of people to. We need to
Exactly.
make that awareness known.
Yeah,
We
bro.
need to make that awareness known. We need
Bro.
to actually set out that
Bro.
awareness
Bro,
everywhere. Let
if you
people
tell
know
me
that things are
Nigerians
not
are not
actually
doing
going
shit,
that well.
It's because of people are not putting in the work. A lot more people are not. Do you know that this guy was watching his YouTube channel, started almost 8 years ago. He's still doing YouTube. He's in Nigeria. Talking about problems that Nigeria is going through. Now tell me, somebody like that, will you say he has not been putting in the work?
Putting in the work.
Come on.
Putting in the work.
There are people working here but there won't be a lot of them if everybody doesn't start doing what those people have been doing. Imagine someone that started 8 years ago.
Yeah, I think gradually with the education of the large population,
Not for you.
as we get more people educated,
Yeah,
more people exposed,
exactly.
people are going to
Yeah.
naturally want
Exactly.
what is better for themselves.
Facts. That is fact.
Nigerian education system is a problem already. That is one of our biggest problems.
Exactly.
The colonial
Because
education
if you even want us to even think of how we want anybody that wants to move that country for one, he needs to the whole education system needs to be reformed
100%. I agree.
100%.
Bro, we don't
and
even
it
know
needs
our
to be
fucking history.
upgraded.
We don't know our
Everything
genuine
needs to be.
history.
We need to go back to
History.
the drawing
Most
board
basic
and
shit.
start learning from
Legit.
the basics again.
Legit, bro.
That is how we can create even better citizens and better followers in the near future.
Facts.
Another banger. Make a call, make a bomb, bomb, bomb.